So hello everyone and welcome to Transformational Tuesdays. I'm Teresa Velardi, your host for this time of inspiration, education, motivation, and conversation focused on key ingredients necessary to create positive change in our lives, commonly called transformation. And so I'm really excited for today's call. And as some of you may know, I created Transformational Tuesdays some time ago in order for people to share my experience of growth and positive change on my journey of transformation. And it is a journey. Transformation does not happen overnight. It is something that is ongoing and creates positive change in our lives. A couple of weeks ago, we had Dwayne Cummings talking about the fact that transformation is something that is dramatic. It may happen over time, but eventually it becomes visible to everybody. So whether we're talking about physical, emotional, relational, financial, career, transformation is an ongoing thing. And the one thing we can be sure of is that everything changes from moment to moment. Nothing stays the same. And the same thing holds true for your business. So today I decided to invite one of my favorite people to the conversation. Doreen DeJesus Harper has been my online business manager for about the last 6 years, and she has taught me whatever I know about social media and technology. She is what I call a techno genius. I'm graduating. I'm moving up the scale from techno idiot onto techno comfortable. Let's say that. So let me give you a little bit of information about Doreen, and then we'll talk about what we're going to talk about today. So, after 23 years in corporate America, Doreen retired in 2009. And throughout her stint in corporate America, she had the pleasure of being employed in the hospitality, real estate, accounting, and financial industry. So she's very well versed in a lot of areas. Doreen has spent 18 years of her corporate career in the financial industry as well, servicing different departments and different companies. She's worked in legal and compliance, mergers and acquisitions, as well as in collections. Doreen considers herself very fortunate to have partnered with the CEOs and top management of Fortune 500 companies, all of whom allowed her to continue to expand her skills and to grow. Doreen's extensive training includes office management, event coordination, social media strategies, implementation and management, author and speaker support, data research marketing, project management, multimedia presentations, and much more. Do you see why she's my online business manager? She has, excuse me, in order to provide her clients a diverse skill set, she has completed certification as a professional virtual speaker's assistant, social marketing specialist, internet marketing specialist, master shopping cart specialist, professional virtual author's assistant, certified travel planner, certified real estate assistant, graduate virtual assistant, and certified real estate support specialist, as well as the International Virtual Assistants Association ethics checked. She was also at one point, and I'll throw this in here because she doesn't put it in her bio, she was also the president of the International Virtual Assistants Association, commonly called IVAA. Doreen is proud to be an active member and volunteer for many online and local organizations that support authors, coaches, entrepreneurs, and speakers. And for more information on Doreen, you can visit her website at ambitions, AMBICIONZ.com. And Doreen, I want to welcome you to the call today. So welcome. How are you?
Thanks, Teresa. As always, you always give me such glowing reviews. I love it.
Yes, I love it too. So, because you know what, I have to say this, and for anyone who has not worked with a social media expert or online business manager or a virtual assistant for that matter, you want to look for somebody who is diverse in their knowledge. And this woman is, as you can tell from her bio, extremely diverse in her knowledge. Sometimes you want to go for someone who is a specialist in certain situations and circumstances, depending on what your needs are. And those will be determined, I believe, by a consultation with someone who might be the one to meet your needs. But Doreen has been my right arm for the last 6 years. I found her through an organization that I was partnered with, and the minute that I met her, I knew she was the person who was going to take me from nobody to somebody, and she has done that. So I'm really grateful to have had the opportunity and continue to have the opportunity to work with such a brilliant mind. So when we sent out this invitation to register for this event, Doreen asked a few questions, and I loved what she put initially in her little thing that she sent out. Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, oh my. Do you feel this way when it comes to social media? Don't know where to begin. I didn't know where to begin, I can tell you that. Are you consistent in your message and your branding, or do you sit back and wonder whether social media is a waste of time or if it's an effective means of marketing? Do you know what your peers are doing in social media efforts, and do you know why you should care? So social media over the last, I'm not sure how many years, but Doreen has a little video for us to watch. She's going to introduce us to in just a moment. And I want to invite you all to be open to this conversation, no matter where you are in your knowledge of, or your use of, or your intended use of social media in your business, or even in your personal life. So Doreen, I'm going to turn it over to you. I'm going to do this a little bit differently. She has a presentation. She's got several questions that she's going to answer for us. And I'll jump in whenever I have a question. And if you have a question, if I can see you, you can just raise your hand and I'll recognize you and you can ask your question. And if you're on the phones, remember, press *9 on your phone. Your hand will raise. I will recognize you. Can ask Doreen your question. So, Doreen.
Thank you, Teresa. Yes, I did ask Teresa to do this one a little bit different because I really feel social media, a conversation about social media should be very interactive. So while I'm talking and I'm speaking about several different things, I really want you to consider what type of questions you want to bring to the forefront. And please don't be afraid to ask your questions, because what you may not know, somebody else may not know, and no question is not going to be relevant when it comes to social media. So the first thing that I want to do, and for those who are on the phone, I have to apologize because this is a video presentation, but the first thing that I want to do is show a video about the scope of social media and how it has evolved over the last couple of years. So Teresa?
You're on.
Okay.
Wow. For the people who are on the phone, I just want to give a short synopsis of what we just saw. It took us through the evolution of social media and the evolution of means of communication before social media, from the radio, which took 75 years to come to 1 billion users, through television and the birth of the internet and YouTube, all to Angry Birds that went to 1 billion users in 35 days. Do you think the internet and social media are powerful? So listen up and let's hear what Doreen has to say.
Yeah, I don't know about anybody else, but I've been following the social economics for the last 4 or 5 years, and I've seen that video evolve over the last 4 or 5 years. And each time I see it and I see the number and the statistics, I'm awed. And what I'm going to ask everybody to do is, I don't want you to untrain your brain from what others have taught you about social media, but I want you to keep a very open mind and think about what I am going to speak about today. Because while a lot of people say social media is a must, social media is a must, they don't give us the fundamentals of what we need in order to build our social media platforms. And there's a couple of things that we can do within our platforms to enhance our ROI, our return on investment. And the return on investment in social media, because social media is free, is not money. It's our time. It's the time that we're putting into our social media. It's the time that we are taking away from other things that we need to be doing within our businesses or personal lives or anything else, and putting into social media. I don't know about you guys, but you can get on Facebook and you can get stuck. You get into that timeline and you're reading everybody's story and you're like, you got to answer, you got to do this, you got to do that. You've got to figure out what is going to be effective for your own business. Now, the first step, and again, I'm not going to untrain you with what everybody else has done, but I want you to really focus on the 5 areas that I'm going to let you know that will be key in helping you grow what you want, where you want your social media to be. So the very first thing that you have to determine in your social media is, who is your target market and where are they? Social media is not a one-size-fits-all. It's not, what is good for one person and their business may not be good for you. There are so many different outlets for social media. You've got Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Snapchat, oh my goodness, I'm forgetting them all. There's so many. You can blog. There's just so many outlets for you to use for your social media, and you've got to determine where your customer base is, where the people are that you're going to want to interact with, or who may be your potential clients. That's the very first step. You've got to ask yourself, Snapchat, that's for the millennium. That's for the younger crowd. Is Snapchat going to be okay for your platform? Or is Facebook going to be where you want to actually start your social media platform? So I ask everybody, when they're doing their social media, before they even start, you sit down and you ask yourself some very basic questions. Who are my clients, or who are my prospective, people who I want to reach? And where are they? Are they on Facebook? Are they professionals and they're solely on LinkedIn? You're going to have a different crowd everywhere. Twitter, when you're looking at what you're going to post, Facebook is good for blogs, for pictures, for a lot of content. Twitter, you've got the 140 characters and maybe a picture. So you're going to have to figure out what your message is and what platform is going to better handle the message and ensure that it's going to reach the people who you are looking to reach. And I'm going to stop, and I want to make sure that everybody can ask their questions because, again, I want this to be interactive. So if there's a question that you have on Facebook or Twitter or any of those other things, please ask those questions because, an author's platform, and I work with authors and speakers, an author's platform and a speaker's platform are going to be totally different in what they do in social media. You want to ensure that you keep your personal Facebook page personal, and then you have a Facebook page that is about your business, and your business Facebook page is where you put all of the information that pertains to your business. Your business Facebook page is where all of those individuals who need to be associated with your business are located at. So you don't want to fill your Facebook business page with all your friends. You want to go out there and fill your Facebook business page with individuals who need to hear your message, who need your services. They're totally different. I know that a lot of people are like, oh, I only have like 200 likes on my Facebook business page. 200 people who actually are interested in your services. That's what you got to look at. Not 5,000 people who may just want to like your face or no. You have 200 people who are very interested in your business. It's a totally different platform than your regular personal business page. The other thing that's very important in social media, so the first thing is determine your audience and where your audience is. The next thing is going to be consistency. So once you're on whatever platform you're going to choose, whether it's Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, Instagram, whatever suits your audience, once you're there, you need to be consistent. Doesn't mean that you have to be posting every single day, but your messages must be out there. And there are several different tools that you can utilize in order to ensure that you are not sitting at your computer, at your Facebook page, your Twitter page, or your Instagram, and posting those messages. And that is a different conversation, but there are lots of tools that will help you automate the process.
Doreen, can you just give a couple of those for people who may be at the place where they could use something like that at this point?
Absolutely. I highly recommend Hootsuite. It's very user-friendly. And not only is it user-friendly, it's very cost-efficient. There's a lot of different ones out there that will tell you that they're going to give you all this marketing and research information, and they don't get, and it gets you confused. It gets you where you don't want to be. Can you please unmute Teresa? She's got her hand up.
Okay, yep, I'm going there right now. Hang on, Teresa. There you go, girl. There you go,
Teresa.
I did not hear the name of that suite. What was the name of it?
It's called Hootsuite. Hootsuite.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. They've got a basic, they got a free package, and then if you've got a whole list of social medias that you want to connect, then it's like $5.99 a month. But they're very user-friendly, and they will allow you to connect your all of your social medias platforms together, and then you can actually go in and schedule your posts. So if you're someone who wants to schedule lots of sayings, quotes, or that you've got upcoming events and you want to sporadically put that message out there to everyone, then Hootsuite is an amazing platform to do that through, because now you can sit down on a Sunday, spend 2 hours getting everything together, and then once it's done, you don't have to worry about it. It's automated and it does it for you. Now, the other thing behind your social media is that you want to make sure that you are being consistent in your 80-20 rule, okay? You want to brand yourself as an expert in your field. So all of the information that you're giving, 80% of it should be informational based, should not be a sell. And when you're doing your sell, it should be a very soft sell. For the other 15%, and then the 5% go ahead and do your hard sell. But if somebody comes to your Twitter feed or your Facebook page or any of those other places, and all they're seeing is that you're selling, it's a big turnoff. They're going to leave, and you've just lost a potential client. But if you show and your expertise, and you share your expertise with them, they're going to be like, whoa, she knows a lot, or he knows a lot. And, I need to hook up with this person. I need this person in my corner. I need to understand what they know. I need more of that knowledge that they're sharing. So make sure that you're following that basic 80-20 rule, with 80% of it being informational based. Whether you're sharing your favorite quotes, whether you're sharing, and don't be afraid to share your peers' information as well, because, they may have individuals who may need your service, and you may have individuals who may need theirs. That's another thing about being knowledge based. Make sure you're giving as much information as you can to individuals so that they, again, feel that you're an invaluable source to them. Branding. All right. Now, we all hear this, but it's in social media, branding is different. In social media, when we're going up and down our feeds, we see all of these beautifully made memes that will, have wonderful sayings on them, or somebody is, maybe doing a conference. They're always branded with that person's website and their logo. Okay. There's nothing wrong with sharing other people's things, nothing, and you should, by all means. But a part of your social media should also be about branding your own images and letting those images go out and be shared. Because when one person shares it on their timeline, their friends and their peers are a lot different than yours. Somebody else might like it, they might share it. You just expanded everything tenfold by making sure that you branded everything that you put out there. All right. And that is as easy as pie too. I mean, I've introduced Teresa to Canva, and now she loves it. I've introduced another one of my clients to Canva. Canva is a free tool that you can find online, and it's Canva. And Canva will allow you to create memes. There's no type of design involved. You go in, you upload a picture, you drop the picture down, you type in some text, you put your logo in there. Now you've created a great meme for any of your social media sites. And they've got the dimensions already set up for Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. You don't have to guess what image size is going to work and get cut off.
Right.
All right.
And trust me, if I can do it, you can do it. It's very simple. Very simple. And you can use photographs that you may have in your database and your computer. You can upload those, or you can buy one for as little as $1 to use as a background for something that you want to share and brand for yourself. So great tool, and I just love it. Doreen introduced it to me. A mentor of mine introduced it to me, and I just love it. It's simple.
Okay, so far, it's determine your audience and make sure you know where they're at. Be consistent with your message across the board and ensure that your message is based on your business. And then you need to make sure that your branding is also consistent. The point and the biggest thing that everyone should realize, and I will tell you that the major companies realized this a long time ago, and which is why now our timelines are flooded with all of these advertisements and everything, is that social media is free and people thoroughly enjoy interacting with others. And that being said, your message will get out there if you're consistent with your message. Okay. And make it fun, make those memes fun, make them entertaining, make them heartfelt, whatever it takes to get your message out there. Use your imagination to do that, because they're a reflection on your brand, they're a reflection on you as a business, as well as you personally. Okay, so the biggest thing with social media to me is you've got to enjoy what you're doing out there, so that the others who are reading it and taking it in will see the passion behind your business.
Mm-hmm.
With the branding comes hashtags. All right. And this is not overplayed if you do the hashtags correctly. You need to ensure you're tagging everything, your YouTube videos, your quotes that you put out there. Every time that I do a daily truth on my Facebook page. And my daily truth is hashtagged with 4 prominent hashtags each time I do them. It's my company, it is D Speaks, it's Daily Truths, and Straight from 901, okay? And I've picked those hashtags purposely. Ambitions is my company, so if anybody's ever searching for Ambitions, anything that I've done on Facebook or on Twitter or anything is going to come up. You know, people search that way. Straight from the 901, I live in Memphis, Tennessee. So 901 is my area code. So anyone who's looking for information about Memphis, as soon as they see they type in 901, my stuff is going to come up. So look at how you are tagging everything that you do and ensure you're consistent and you're tagging. And when I'm saying hashtags, I'm talking about the hashtags used on Twitter and Facebook. I'm also talking about the tags that you can put onto each one of your videos that you upload. You've got to be consistent. I upload the videos for Transformational Tuesdays. When I upload the videos for Transformational Tuesdays, it's Transformational Tuesdays, it's Teresa Velardi, inspiration, motivation, and transformation. Any of those 5 keywords that anyone goes in to search on YouTube is going to inevitably bring them to Transformational Tuesdays for Teresa. Anybody got any questions on those? You guys are being quiet. All right.
Let me unblock you here. You're not muted, so go ahead. Can I hear you? Do you have your audio on? I just see iPad. Do you have your audio on? Is your microphone on? I can't hear you.
Type in your question into the chat box, and then
Yes.
Teresa can read it out to me, okay?
Yeah,
There's a
type.
chat. If you go to the very bottom of the screen and click the chat icon, you'll be able to type the question there, and Teresa will be able to ask me the question.
Perfect. Awesome. If anyone else has a question that's on the phone, just press *9 on your keypad, and you will raise your hand. Kind of lower your hand there. That was.
So one of the things that I want to talk about too is Google Alerts. And not a lot of people realize how important setting up Google Alerts is. Google is free. If you set up Google Alerts on your company and on any type of hashtags that you want, you will receive from Google either daily or weekly anytime your company is mentioned. This is very important when you're looking to see who's talking about you, why they're talking about you, whether you've got good reviews out there or bad reviews out there. Setting up Google Alerts can be a little bit complicated, but once you get through it, it's done, and you can go in and change the alerts whenever you want to change the alerts to fit. If you've got an event that's coming up, you go in and you can add a Google Alerts about the event, see where that's spreading, who's reading it, who's actually posting your posts for you, and everything else. Google also has the analytics that's attached to it. And without getting into the cumbersome part of the analytics, it will give you your return of investment again on your social media. It will let you know where your target market is actually at right now with your social media, whether it is coming all from Facebook or whether it's coming all from Instagram. So setting up your Google Analytics with your Google Alerts is very important. And Google will help you walk through it. Yes, go ahead.
Okay, so all right, so Google will help you work through it. I was going to ask partially that question, but I have also a couple of questions in the chat box. So keep going. Go ahead with what
Yeah.
you were saying.
Google will, they kind of got some step-by-step that you can follow. Like I said, the first time that you're actually doing it, setting everything up, it could feel a little bit cumbersome, but get through it, work through it, because it's something very important that you need to have to register that return on investment, return on your time that you're spending in your social media, and know where it's being the most effective and where you should concentrate more of your efforts. So if you're more effective on Facebook, that's where you need to be. Okay.
Yes.
I'm going to go back to the very beginning where I said, what works for one person doesn't work for the other. You've got to do what fits your audience, what's fitting your business.
Right, exactly. This is not although it can be templated for certain types of business, this is not a fill in the blanks situation. Social media is not a fill in the blanks. The question on how do you hashtag? And when you answer that question, Doreen, let's talk about how someone can determine what they want to hashtag. Okay.
Say you do inspirational quotes on your timeline, and I'm going to use that because a lot of people do that. A lot of people will hashtag put the # quotes or # inspiration. Okay. Now, when you go into and try this on, you could try this with daily truths or ambitions. If you go into Facebook and you go to the search bar and you type in ambitions, it is going to pull up all of my daily truths because I've hashtagged them. So everything you do, you want to hashtag, whether it's a quote, whether it is a tip. Transformational Tuesday should always be hashtag. Motivational Mondays, if you are doing an event that's specific to authors, hashtag authors. You're doing an event that's specific to people who are in the financial industry, hashtag finance. You can hashtag as much as you want because it makes it easy for people to search and find you.
That's what I wanted you to say. So the thing is I used to think that hashtags were nonsense, and I will confess that I don't use them as much as I actually really should be doing. But what I have discovered is that they're a search tool. They help you to search the topic you're looking for. They help you to bring right to you the information that that will most help you find, when you're looking for something. For example, because I have a publishing company, authors, hashtag authors. Until just now, I didn't think of hashtagging some of the stuff that I have going on, and it's been brought to my attention a multitude of times. It's something like, I talk about building your gratitude muscle. You have to build this muscle. It's got to be something that you bring into your social media conversation every day. So, and on all platforms, the hashtags are relevant, correct? Yeah.
Yes, so, they are. And I'm going to tell you one of the biggest mistakes people do. We've got all of these videos that get uploaded to YouTube, and they do not keyword those videos properly. They just upload them. All right. So if you ever wonder when you go into YouTube and you do a search and why certain videos come up above others, it's because they've actually gone in and keyword. Keyword and hashtag here are going to be interchangeable because in YouTube, when you upload those videos, it does say keywords instead of hashtags. So it says keywords to use. But when you're consistent, pick 5 or 6 that are relevant to your brand, to what your services are and everything else, and use them on everything. Use them on everything. They're just little bitty, it's add on to a sentence at the very end of the sentence that you're doing, but use them, be consistent. That way, when somebody's searching for something, they're going to find you. And that's the key. And right there, and I'm going to say it again, social media is free. You can go out and spend massive money marketing, advertising, and doing everything else, and there's nothing wrong with it if your budget allows for it and everything else. But when you have a tool that reaches so many people like social media did, we'll go back to that video. Social media is just, it it has opened the doors for so many small businesses and entrepreneurs to get their messages out there. If you think 5-10 years back, being a solopreneur, your circle was very small. All you could deal with were those individuals in your circle and the little bit of word of mouth that each one would go. Now, this is you on social media, and this is the next person on social media. And from here, you've got millions of other people who could essentially see your message. And if you've never realized and looked at LinkedIn, LinkedIn actually shows you that. You know, when you're looking at people, when they come in and they want to friend you, excuse me, and they say you're 2 away or you're 3 away, that's letting you know that, 2 or 3, you are you're 3 steps from this individual. That one person may be your friend, and that one person may be somebody else's friend, and then that person is that person's friend. Imagine how many people you can actually touch with social media if you actually sit down, come up with a solid plan, and implement the solid plan. You can't just sit down and say, one day, I'm going to go on social media. I'm going to create a Facebook page, and then think that it's going to work for you, because it's not. There's a plan that you have to do. And it doesn't have to be a very expensive plan. You don't have to go out and pay somebody, thousands of dollars to come up with this plan for you. It starts with knowing who your target market is, where your target market is, and then being consistent, branding yourself, and going out there and doing what you need to do to get the word of mouth for your business. Doesn't matter what type of business you're in. It really doesn't, because it works for everybody across the board. The format and the formula is a little bit different, but social media can work for any business that's out there, any business. Now, I'm going to take an example for you. And if you ever wonder why certain things pop up into your Facebook feed, all right, you go onto the internet and you do searches and you're looking at jewelry, or you're looking at clothing, or you go onto Amazon and you look at something and you say, maybe I'll buy that later. And then the next day it shows up on the sideline in your feed as an item of interest to you. The algorithms that Facebook had put together actually is focused around all of your searches. Okay? So if you're actually doing the tagging and actually putting all of the information to your stuff that you need to, when somebody goes out and searches for something that is pertinent to your business or what your services that you offer and everything, there's a good chance that you can show up in the sideline in their feed. And I'm going to say this because Teresa and I were talking earlier today. Teresa was in a book 3 or 4 years ago. She was in an anthology. And it's an anthology that wasn't published, was published, but was not advertised very well. And I actually went onto the page to look at something for Teresa, and a day later, it showed up on my timeline. Mm-hmm. Her book from Amazon showed up on my timeline. And I was like, wow, okay, I hadn't seen this book in a long time. So, your searches, now think about your searches and what it's bringing into your timeline, and then other people's searches and what it will bring into their timeline. Mm-hmm. All right. That's how you have to look at social media. And all of them pretty much have the same type of algorithms. Facebook is the best. I will not, sometimes people might say Facebook is overrated, but Facebook has the best algorithms when it comes to bringing searches that are relevant to you. I would then put in LinkedIn. If I had to choose the 3 platforms that I would be on always, it would be Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter, and in that order. And that's just because of the profession. That's because of what I bring to the table to individuals. Yes, Teresa?
Yeah, and the other thing that I love that you just gave that, because it was part of the question I was going to ask. And somebody has a question about LinkedIn too, which I'll get to in just a second. But, for people who follow me and who follow the posts that I make about Transformational Tuesdays, I'll post the night before on Facebook and the day of most of the time for Transformational Tuesdays on Facebook first. Then I go to LinkedIn. At LinkedIn, it has the opportunity for me to share it on Facebook and Twitter. Now, Twitter, I sometimes struggle with the 140 characters to get all the information in. But the beauty of going to LinkedIn first is I have the opportunity to share the LinkedIn post in a very short sentence with the link that gives you the post that I put on LinkedIn. And I can share that on Twitter. So I discovered that a little while ago, and I went, wow, now I don't have to struggle anymore. So I've got everything all connected through the fact that that's exactly the order that I use them in: Facebook, LinkedIn, and then Twitter. So, but let's talk about LinkedIn for 1 second. Somebody asked that, is there any problem with adding people to our LinkedIn accounts? She's afraid to add some people. I know that at one point you couldn't add people unless you had a direct connection to them, whether you're a friend, an associate, or whatever, and it kept you from adding them. What's the scoop on adding people on LinkedIn?
It's the same way now. It has not changed, and LinkedIn has done that for professionalism. If you are not connected with someone via another connection, you can't simply add them. Now, they can add you if they've worked with you or they know your direct email. Okay, that's another way to add on LinkedIn. But LinkedIn is less of, I think her question, it goes more to security. LinkedIn does not have the same hacking issues that Facebook has. Okay, LinkedIn is really now has gotten to a point where you can find professionals, you can find jobs, you can join different groups. LinkedIn is more on the business side of everything, where Facebook encompasses it all. There, now when I look at Facebook and LinkedIn, and one of the things that you said, Teresa, is you want to make that hit home here, is that you want to make sure that your message is different everywhere. So if you're using the tool like Hootsuite in order to send out your messages on a regular basis for you, so that you're not sitting in front of your computer constantly, you want to make sure whatever message you put on Facebook doesn't show up on LinkedIn for another 3 or 4 days, unless it's an event or something like that. But say you're putting out your blog. You'll put your blog out on Facebook, and then 3 or 4 days later, you'll put your blog out on LinkedIn. Then you can put your blog information out on Twitter. And that way, your message is, you're going to have a different crowd on each one of them. And that way, you're getting good SEO, search engine optimization. And also, Google is not looking at the content as being duplicate across the board. Okay? So, space out your messages across the 3. And this is good. So, if you've got 30 days worth of posts for Facebook, and now you've got 30 days of posts, and this is how I generally do it on my side. You've got 30 days of posts for LinkedIn and for Twitter. I reverse the order that I'm doing it. So if I do 1 through 30 on Facebook, I'll do 30 through 1 on LinkedIn, so that there's always a large space difference between them. And then on Twitter, I might start from 15 to 30 and then go back to 1 to 15. So just make sure you're not giving the same message across your platforms, because if it is somebody if you do have the same individuals, say you're amazing and they want to be on every platform that you're on, they're getting a different message constantly. And if they don't see that message on Facebook today, they may see that message on LinkedIn on Friday.
Right.
All right.
So, yeah. Let's still talking about LinkedIn for 1 minute. Tracy says that she struggles with the culture of LinkedIn. It's quite different, as you know, than Facebook and or Twitter. Can you speak to what is a good form and bad form in that particular platform?
Well, LinkedIn, again, is more business oriented. So you're not going to do your jokes or your the little tests that they do on Facebook. What you're going to want to put on, and what LinkedIn offers, is where you can put up a portfolio. So you can put up projects and stuff like that on your Facebook page, on your LinkedIn page, I'm sorry. So you want to look at LinkedIn as being a professional resume for you, okay? That's how you want to look at it. LinkedIn is where your testimonials can be. If you work with anybody, you make sure you connect with them on LinkedIn, so that they can come back and they can talk about how good you are. Because that's what LinkedIn is. It's your professional resume. So if you've done an ebook or you've got some type of, free giveaway you want to give them to, LinkedIn allows you to upload those and have a repository of all of those different things. And that is, again, where everybody who is on the professional side is going to go. Now, I personally am free spirit, and I can get as fun as they can be, and I can be as professional as they're going to be. So what I might post on Facebook, I most certainly may not post it in LinkedIn. Again, that's knowing your audience and knowing who you're connecting with. And with LinkedIn, you are really, if you notice, LinkedIn doesn't have a lot of political stuff. All right, Facebook has all the political stuff. So that's how you're going to determine. Now, don't knock LinkedIn off of your social media marketing, because you will be surprised if you join certain groups, or if you get into the groups that you need to be in, and you start sharing your expertise. You'll be surprised at the people who come to you and say, "I need to work with you."
Yeah, and that's something that most people don't recognize as something as a tool that's so valuable, myself included. I have joined a few groups, and I don't necessarily take the time to get in there and see what's happening and whatnot. And the same thing on Facebook. If you join a group, be active in the group. Let people know who you are. Let people know what you're up to. And if there are rules that the group originator has set, follow the rules so you don't get yourself kicked out. Because there's a lot of people who do that and think that it's just these places are just a place for you to advertise your business. And that may be true for some groups, but for most groups, it's not. Content. And what you said earlier about being sure that you had like 80% content and value and just 20% in selling, that I can't tell you how important that is. And, it's just really, it not only is it something, a piece of your integrity, but it's also etiquette. I mean, you don't want to be constantly shoving stuff in people's periphery and saying, "Oh, then they'll defriend you. I don't want to talk to you anymore. All she does is sell. All she does is this." And you can be bumped off of somebody in LinkedIn too, or booted out of a group. But I have some people asking me specific questions, Doreen, and I know that you and I talked earlier. And for people who have specifics, I know that you're offering something that people can work with you individually in order to be able to get these specific things in order for their personal business. How can people work with you? What are you offering today?
Okay, before we go into to what I'm offering, I do want to bring up one last key that everybody needs to be doing. If you become a part of a group, if you see a message out there on Facebook, on LinkedIn, anywhere else, and you have the answer to it, answer it.
Answer it.
Answer it. I don't care if 20 other people answered it. You answer it too, okay? It brings your name out there. It lets people know that you're an expert. And then you've got a dialogue that's going on between you and somebody who may be potentially interested in what you are doing. I'm a part of, I've had the honor of going to the National Speakers Association 4 years in a row. And I got onto the National Speakers Association Facebook group. And when they go up there and they start asking questions about websites and SEO and everything else, I'm quick to get in there and answer the question, so that they understand that, hey, I'm somebody of value in this group. Make sure your value is heard. If you're just going to sit back in a group that you first of all, you had to have researched to ensure that group is going to be your target market. You're just not in that group to be in that group. Then you need to make sure you're being an active member. And Teresa, you said it. Be active. Answer questions. If you've got a question, ask a question and see who is going to respond to you. That's the best way to get free advice. All right.
And the biggest thing today, here's the thing that's biggest today more than anything else, and all this speaks to all social media platforms. The biggest thing and the most valuable asset you have today is relationship marketing. If you, this is all about building relationships. If you're in a group and you're participating, people know who you are. They want to know more about you. They'll build a relationship with you. If you're not building a relationship and that connection, which is so huge. You might as well just get yourself out of the group, sit back and go watch, I don't know, General Hospital. I don't know. It's just, so make it work for you any way you possibly can. But don't always be looking to take. Give and give and give, because people will know that you are, the information, you're an expert in your field. That's the biggest thing that Doreen just said. Be part of the dialogue. Show that you're an expert. Answer the questions. If you don't know something and you're looking for someone to help you with something, ask the questions. So, yeah.
Yeah, social media can be is great for personal lives and for your professional, your businesses. And as solopreneurs, entrepreneurs, whatever you're doing right now, social media is the best marketing platform you can use. And the one area that we didn't talk about is Pinterest. Pinterest is amazing for coaches. It's amazing for speakers, for fitness people, and that's another platform you should consider depending on what you're offering. If you are a spiritual speaker and you want to show images and everything else on, chakra, whatever it is that you're trying to do, Pinterest is an amazing place to be, okay? Because people are pinning stuff at a rate that's unbelievable. Mm-hmm. So that's, again, knowing where your audience is. And I know that we're kind of coming close, and I'm going to invite everybody to, if you've got questions, reach out to me. My information is on the email that was sent out to everybody for the invite. I'm going to do a course in September. It's going to be 2 90-minute Zoom rooms where we're going to have groups, and we're going to go through very detailed explanation on the 5 steps that I did today. Getting you set up in Google with your Google alerts and your Google Analytics, figuring out what hashtags are relevant to your brand, helping you find the tools necessary to get your branding together, and walking you through how to set it up, and showing you the different tools to ensure consistency, walking through Hootsuite and everything else, and determining your audience. So the 2 courses will be in September, and there's going to be a link in the thank you that Teresa is going to send out. So for the 2 courses, it's going to be $59.99. And then for $79.99, there's going to be a 30-minute Zoom call that we will have where we'll go one-on-one, where I will evaluate your social media efforts completely. So look for that in the thank you. If you know that you're already interested in that and you want me to send you the link, please email me at dharper@ambitions, ambicionz.com. If you were one of those who were on the phone and are interested in seeing the video that I actually sent out today, please email me so that I will email you the link so that you can actually watch that video. It's a very powerful video. It will let you see really how big social media has come in the last 18 years. I mean, I'm going to give my age away here, but when I was in high school, computers were just coming out. Computers, in the early 80s, come on, and now look at where we are almost 30 years later, where everything is done on the computer, everything, and vitally important. If you really want to make your business grow, you need to understand that social media can be your friend, and you do not have to have a vast knowledge of where to be. You don't have to spread yourself so thin. You can be in some key targeted areas and be just as effective as if you were in all 30 places, as long as you are targeting your market.
Yes. And just give your email address again, Doreen, please.
D Harper, so it's DHARPER @ambitions, and that's A as in apple, M as in Mary, B as in boy, I, C as in cat, O-N-Z as in zebra. Yeah, I got that Latin little thing going on there. .com.
Yes. Yes. And for those of you who can see the chat, I've also put that in the chat. And, if you're looking for someone who, if you're ready for a virtual assistant or online business manager, just go to ambitions.com and schedule a consult time with Doreen, and she'll be happy to have that conversation with you. I am really grateful to you, Doreen, for all the information that you gave. I learned so much. There are so many different social media platforms out there, and it's good. It feels good to know that I'm in the right space for my people who come to Transformational Tuesdays or want to have a conversation about being an author. And I want to quickly remind everybody, if you haven't already gone to yourstorymattersnow.com to find out what's going on with a daily gift of gratitude, please go there and be part of that project. It's already panning out to be an awesome project. I'm excited about it. But more than anything, I want to thank you for the information, because, especially since every day, it seems, not every day, but quite often it seems that there have been there's a new social media platform popping up. There's a new tool, like Zoom is relatively new, but this has proven to be like the best kept secret in the world, because it gives me the opportunity to have a meeting with someone face to face. Like, I meet with Doreen every week, a couple of times a week sometimes, and we see each other face to face. The fact that I can see your faces on Transformational Tuesdays just warms my heart. For those of you who are on the phone, hearing your voices is an awesome thing. If you can get into the video platform, I would love to see your face. So just, there's just so much out there and available. And keeping up with what's going to work for you is so key, especially if your business is virtual. Wouldn't you agree, Doreen?
Absolutely. And the only thing that I want to say is we all get caught up in the shiny object syndrome.
Mm-hmm.
Stay away from it. If you know what you've put yourself on is working for you, before you jump onto that next platform, make sure it really does hold the audience you're looking for. I will tell you, I don't have a Snapchat at all. I don't find it relevant to the audience who I wish to bring into my circle. So stay away from the shiny objects. You said it perfectly, Teresa. There is it seems like every other month, a new platform for you to share comes on now. And then think about this. When you start sharing too much, your message gets watered down. You're all the way down on the bottom. When you concentrate your efforts in a few places, then your message is stronger. It's more concentrated, and people are seeing it more. So don't get caught up in the shiny object syndrome. If you don't know what it is, if you're not sure whether it's going to work for your business or the industry that you're in, research it very well before you jump in. Because all you're going to do is sit there and pull your hair out and say, what did I do? What did I do? Why am I here? And how do I make it work?
Mm-hmm. And then if you're like me, you get frustrated and you throw up your hands and you say, forget about it, So I have chosen to stay focused on those three platforms: Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter. Although, like you said, some of the other ones, and if you're in them, look at what's going on around you. And that's the other thing too. Like, some of us are so focused on what we have to say, we don't pay attention to anybody else. Be interactive. It's like going through life with blinders on doesn't expand your world; it narrows your field. So make sure that what I said before about relationship building, you can't build relationships if you're like this all the time. So with blinders on you. And Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Snapchat, Instagram, Tumblr, blog sites, Pinterest. There's so many of them out there. Choose what's working for you. Choose what will work for you that has your audience playing in that field, in that arena. Get focused on your message. Make sure that you're getting it out there consistently. Make sure that you're branded all the way around on all the different platforms. If you look at Teresa Velardi on any of the platforms, Doreen has me with my little color waves and my brand on everything, and it's all consistent. So make sure you have it. Get to the practice of using the hashtags. They are so important. And the analytics and the Google alerts are going to keep you informed as to what's happening in the world that you're playing in the field that you're playing in. So anything else you want to add before we finish up, Doreen? Any other tips you want to give us? And then tell us again how people can take advantage of what you offered just a few minutes ago.
No, I just want to invite, if you didn't get an opportunity to ask a question and you want to ask a question, please don't hesitate to email me. I will be more than happy to address a question via email. Again, the offer is going to be for 2 90-minute Zoom rooms like this, where we're going to go over in detail the 5 areas that we spoke about today. That's going to be $59.99. And then if you want to add on the VIP package, where you're going to have a 30-minute one-on-one with me where I evaluate your full social media, that's going to be $79.99. And Teresa will have the link in the thank you that she sends out. But if you already know that you're interested, please don't hesitate to email me, and I will go ahead and forward you all that information.
And if you're like me, Doreen, I know that you're going to send out a questionnaire that's going to give you all the information that you need in order to be able to make that half hour very focused on your specific needs. So, and I know how Doreen works, and you are a blessing. I'm so grateful to have you here, and I'm so grateful for all that you do. I want to invite everybody to come back next week when C. Denise Richardson, who is on this call right now, is going to be my guest. And we're going to be talking about how to be a purpose shaker and a mountain mover. She has an event coming up in Memphis, Tennessee. And we're going to talk all about what she's got going on in her world. So be sure to tune in next week for Transformational Tuesdays. And until then, enjoy traveling what I call the transformational trails of life. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day.